Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now some of the keen-eyed amongst you will spot this behind and be thinking, hang about, I think I know where you are. And even more eagle-eyed amongst you will be probably picking up on that reflection just there and recognise this gentleman. I'm with Mike Phelps. Very well.
It's lovely to finally get you down here.
Oh, well, we've been talking about it for such a long time, haven't we?
We have.
And this summer we just had the opportunity to come down. My wife and daughter are actually here as well. Wife's going to come into the hide with us. Jen's going to come in tonight and watch with us.
Has she seen badgers before?
She's seen badgers before, but only, I don't think she'll have seen them in the way that she'll be able to see them here. I genuinely don't think she will.
I love that when people sort of like, I've had a few people come down here and they've never seen badgers before.
Really?
Looking at somebody's face when they see a badger for the first time is just sensational.
So we've got a little bit of a sneak peek there of what we've got in store. So Mike, will you explain to the good people what it is that we're hoping to see this evening?
Wow, we're going for kangaroo. No.
Kangaroos.
That's Cookie's job, that is. I'm really fortunate that down here the badgers have produced 7 cubs and 3 of them are erythristic badgers. So the erythrism in badgers means that they produce an excess of red and orange pigments and no black pigments. So, do you know what happens, mate?
Go on.
They end up being ginger. So I've got some ginger badgers.
Unbelievable. Of all the people that could get ginger badgers, Mike is the one.
Yeah, they say dogs look like their owners, don't they? And I've got a clan of ginger badgers.
So, I mean, Mike's had this hide now for a good period of time. I know that he's been getting buzzards in the past, and buzzards was something that both Pops and I were really interested in coming down to see. Then it kind of developed even further and you started to get tawny-owls coming in, didn't you? And then there's some amazing footage and photographs of tawny-owls. I'll pop some up on the screen so you can see some of Mike's work. But then the final bit, the final carrot that just was dangled and I could not resist was the badgers. And what an incredible setup we've got here for the badgers. I mean, just looking out from the hide, I can see we've got this most stunning reflection pool in front of us. I mean, to call it a reflection pool is a bit of an understatement, isn't it? Most people think a reflection pool sort of a maximum of about 6 foot, that must be.
Yeah, and you know, I've put a lot of thought into this. As a photographer myself, I'm always constantly thinking of how things will look on the photo or on the film, how the backgrounds are. So the perches as well are all set up at certain stages in sort of like a semicircle, so you can literally work around easier. So it's all to benefit the photographer, really.
And it's just, and I think the thing that is overwhelming is just how natural it feels. You know, as a setup, you could walk down here and not know that this was a photographic hide, apart from the occasional wire and a light panel that's in place. Other than that, it just looks like, it just looks completely natural, doesn't it?
That's massive for me. All my photos, I always want, unless I'm doing something, you know, a bit abstract and arty, it's all about a natural subject, bit of wildlife on a natural perch or branch. And I think for me, that looks the best. And that's definitely what I've put in down here to make it look as natural as possible. The other thing, obviously, continuous lighting. And what that means is flash is, you know, you can use that for your photos, but video you can't. So having a decent lighting setup down here that's continuous, that doesn't bother the wildlife whatsoever. It's been progressively grown over a period of years and the wildlife is totally used to it, and but you can get amazing video footage,
which I'm very much looking forward to. So if people wanted to come down to here and experience this for themselves, Mike, how would they go about that?
So you can just message me on Instagram. So it's at hide underscore squeaks on Instagram, or Hide and Squeaks on Facebook page as well, or just through my Instagram.
And I'll put links to all of those. They'll have been on the screen while Mike was talking, and they'll also be in the description to the video. So if you are interested, please check out those Instagram pages. Make sure you give them a follow. If you're not following Mike, I mean, where have you been all your life? You've probably been living under a rock. Check out Mike's Instagram page as well. He's producing some absolutely phenomenal photographs. And it's got to be mentioned that obviously they've got the Wild X podcast. I know Megan McCubbin was interviewed, and that has gone live today, hasn't it?
Yeah,
which
she was
is
brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. We're looking forward to listening to that on the way home tomorrow. And you've also got Apex Adventures, haven't you?
Apex Adventures, yeah, where we're taking people to amazing locations around the world to photograph like amazing wildlife. So yeah, absolutely full on at the moment.
It really is full on.
And the YouTube stuff as well.
And of course, if you don't know already, Mike has his very own YouTube channel, a fantastic channel.
Thanks, mate.
With a real variety of various different videos on offer. There's one in particular that I'm very jealous of, that I've watched time and time again, and that is otters and kingfisher in the same frame. I'll put a link to that in the description. It is mind-blowing. Please go and check it out.
Thanks, mate.
Right, so let's get sorted, let's get set up, and let's get some wildlife photography done. Let's come along for the journey and see what we see. So I'm starting off this little adventure with a session with Mike. Mike's coming in the hide with us, and we're just going to do a little bit of a session of the woodland birds. Maybe, just maybe, get a glimpse of the sparrowhawk if that comes down. He has had a female sparrowhawk that's been coming in, and obviously there is a chance of the buzzards. It's not what we're coming here for. What we're coming here for is the badgers that are going to come in later. But Mike's just gone out to just set everything up outside, and then we can spend a little bit of time just having a natter, enjoying the wildlife and enjoying the best of this incredible little hide. It is an absolutely fantastic hide. So really nice sturdy shelf in front. He's put a lot of work in that. That is a really sturdy shelf at the front. We've got 3 ports at the front of the hide, and then we've got the one-way glass. Now I love the one-way glass, however I really like this setup. Ian does exactly the same at Leeds Wildlife Hide. You've got the one-way glass, so you can actually enjoy what you're looking at and look through and experience it unobtrusive without having to peek through scrim netting. But then you've not got the opportunity to photograph through the glass because you've got portholes cut out, and you pop your lens through the porthole, and then you've got some scrim netting around it. And I just think that combination of the two is a really nice way to photograph, particularly later on when my wife's with me, because Jen has got nothing she doesn't use a camera. She's not about photography, so she won't be looking through the portholes. She'll be looking through the glass. And one of the things that we loved about when we were photographing in Ireland was that unobstructed view, because it really gives you that opportunity to be able to appreciate and enjoy the wildlife that's in front of you. So I really like this setup. It's a really nice way to do it. So I've had a lovely afternoon with Mike, probably more nattering than we did photography, but I don't mind that one bit. Mike's a lovely guy to chat to, and we really have put the world to rights this afternoon, which was absolutely fantastic. There were a couple of occasions where the sparrowhawk flew through the area and all the woodland birds scattered, and the buzzard also came overhead on several occasions. But Mike said, according to his camera footage at the moment, the buzzard is tending to come in at first light in the morning. So my aim is once I've finished with the toenails, whatever time that may be, back to the motorhome, quick sleep, back up before first light, back in this seat, so I can hopefully capture a little bit of footage of the buzzard to finish this session off. But obviously that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is the badgers. And what Mike explained perfectly before is the fact that they're not just any badgers that are turning up to Mike's hide. They're Erythristic. I've probably said that completely wrong. I've probably butchered that completely, but we'll go with it. Erythristic? Erythristic? Ginger badgers. They're ginger badgers. And that, from what Mike was saying, was down to the fact that the boar that has sired these cubs is a leucistic badger, and the mother is a traditional black and white badger. So what we've got is the cubs that have produced too much red pigment, so that where the black is, they don't produce any black whatsoever. They produce red pigment, so you've got this ginger and white badger. And I have never ever seen anything quite like it. So I'm so optimistic that we're going to see these beautiful badgers this evening. I just can't wait. A good friend of mine, Dave, was in the hide last night, and he got some stunning footage and some stunning photographs of these badgers. So I just hope I can get just a little bit of what he got last night. Dave had to leave before the toenails came in, but hopefully I'll get the toenails to boot as well. What an exciting night we've got ahead of us. So come along for the journey and see what I see. Well, a bit of a surprising visit, but we've just had a beautiful grey heron arrive right on the edge of the pond. Now, there's no fish in that reflection pool, so I can only think that he's here perhaps for something else, like the rodents that are around, maybe the rats, mice, or maybe he's just here to have a drink and a wash. Who knows, but it's a welcome visit. Well, the heron is still with us, and I thought I'd just turn the lights on to give me an idea. First of all, if the heron would be fazed by it, and I'm pleased to report he didn't even bat an eyelid. But then secondly, I wanted to see to use the heron as a bit of a test subject, because obviously at the moment I've got the light switched off, and I wanted to turn the lights on and then photograph a subject and experiment a little bit with my settings. So with the lights on, I was shooting at 500th of a second at f2.8, and my ISO was right down to about 2000, which is nothing, absolutely nothing. This camera doesn't even bat an eyelid at 2000 ISO. I've just turned the lights off and the ISO's gone up to 5000, so you can see the difference in light that's available. Now, as always, the DJI Osmo Pocket is a little bit deceptive because it's in low light mode, but I've got my GoPro running at the same time, and I've just waved up at it and probably popped it up on the screen, and you can see it is pretty dark in here, and that's how you want it. This one-way glass really works at its best when the light inside the hide is lower than the light outside, and that heron can't see us at all. It's really interesting. It's been out and foraged a little bit in the amongst the bracken behind, and now it looks like it might just have it's getting in the water. Oh. It's getting in the water, so there might be some nice opportunities for some reflections, which I'm just going to focus on. I always love the way that heron move through the water. It always reminds me a little bit of my wife in the sea. It's as though at any minute a piece of seaweed might touch its legs and it'd jump out of its skin. So despite it being almost completely pitch black outside, the heron is still hunting. And I'm pleased to report that he's actually been catching. What he's hunting is small little froglets that are around the edge of the pool, the reflection pool, and I've now successfully seen him capture at least 2 froglets. I thought he was hunting along the edge of the water for rats or mice, because we've seen rats running several times up and down the reflection pool. There was a part of me that thought that it would be quite an interesting photograph if he managed to capture a rat, because the rats were really quite large. And I thought, my word, he'd have his hands full if he wanted to try and tackle one of those. Anyway, it's not rats, it's frogs, and he's dispatching them no problem whatsoever. So we're now at 10 to 9. I know a good friend of mine, Dave, was in last night in this hide, and the first badgers made an appearance at about 8:45, so we're around the perfect time now. Fingers crossed they show soon. We've not got one, we've got 2 Erythristic badgers. Oh, missed that. We've got 2. They're the most beautiful badgers I've ever seen. Their coloration is just sublime. It's hard to explain, but basically, where you get black on a badger, these are a reddish colour. Oh, and they're absolutely beautiful. They're the first Erythristic badgers I've ever seen. Oh, they're absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning. It's actually breathtaking.
Big mammals, aren't
they? They are big mammals. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So Mike's put a row of peanuts out just in front of the reflection pool. At the moment they're focused on those, but the log at the back has also got peanuts in, and these badgers do climb. So there's a good chance we might just capture 1 or 2 of them up on the log behind. One of them's gone to the back to it to explore. We've now got 3, 2 Erythristic badgers and 1 pure badger, in that it's black and white. Oh, and the 2 Erythristic badgers, they're obviously siblings and they don't like sharing. This is just the stuff of dreams. It is incredible. Oh, they're so beautiful. Oh. The trick is, when you're photographing badgers in these kind of setups, is to wait for moments where they lift their head up. Now they're really busy feeders, and once their head's down, they're feeding. And in all honesty, they don't make the best pictures. So what you're waiting for, and it is a case of just biding your time and waiting for that moment, is you're waiting for moments where it lifts its head up, or, as we just saw, interaction with another badger. And they're the moments that create simply the best photographs. Oh, it's so good. So when you've got the Erythristic badger on its own, you could think that the lighting is playing a trick on your eye, and that's why it appears to be reddish in coloration. But when the other badger comes out, which is a traditional black and white badger, at that point you can see the difference so clearly. The black and white badger is just, that contrast between the black and the white is absolutely beautiful. The coloration on the Erythristic badger, between the red and the white, is a little more subtle, And in many ways, that makes a very different type of photograph. I just love watching them. Everything about a badger feeding just reminds me of Pooh Bear. The way they use their paws to be able to move the food in towards their snout. I could watch badgers all night, every night, and it not be wasted time. They're just the most beautiful creatures. Well, that was just amazing. What happened then was the black and white badger climbed up onto the log, and then for some reason he decided he wanted to get off, and rather than walk down the log, he reversed in the direction that he came up. And as he got halfway down, I think he realised his predicament, and it almost looked like he was laughing. Oh wow, absolutely amazing. So settings wise, we'll probably just talk a little bit about settings. So I'm still in auto ISO, but I am using highlight weighted metering. That's important. If I was in matrix metering, I don't think we'd be getting the same effects with my photographs. I would probably have to be underexposing my image to be able to use the auto ISO. Now Mike uses manual ISO, and he sets it at 1600, and then he experiments with his exposure with his aperture and his shutter speeds. You can do it in lots of different ways, and the way that I'm using is just, it's more native to me. I feel more comfortable doing it. So I'm in highlight weighted metering. I keep an eye on the exposure through the histogram that I have on my screen. And then what I'm doing all the time is I'm just thinking about the composition of the shot. So all the time I'm thinking about where the badger is, where it's looking, and then focusing on that. So my shutter speeds have been predominantly around either 200th of a second, 400th of a second, 500th of a second, depending on how much movement the badger's doing. And then for my aperture, when I want to bring my ISO really low and go for that clean element of the photograph, I'm shooting wide open at f2.8. When I've got multiple badgers in the shot, I'm looking for a narrow aperture, so I'm going down to 5.6, even f8 at times, just to give me a greater depth of field to be able to work the badgers into. And that's been working quite well for me. And all the time it's just an experimentation of moving things around, either narrowing the aperture or widening it up, and at the same time adjusting the shutter speed so that the ISO's not through the roof. Magical. Well, I've just been out and I've rebaited the area, and Mike put quite a bit of peanuts and dog biscuits out before, and I thought I'll just check because it went quiet, and Mike said you'll know when it needs redoing because it'll go quiet. And I thought, oh, they won't have eaten everything. They'd eaten everything, absolutely everything. Now there was 3 of them, and they were systematically working the area, but they'd eaten absolutely everything. So I went out to put the food out, and what was amazing is the whole time I was putting the food out, I could hear them in the undergrowth just beyond the bracken, and my imagination runs wild at times, and I know they're only badgers, and I know they'll do me no harm whatsoever, but I tell you what, I put that food out rather quick. Oh. Pops, I'm definitely going to have to bring you back here. You will love it. Well, it's took a little bit of time since putting the feed out, but they're back. We've got one Erythristic badger and one normal badger. I don't like saying normal badger because they're both normal, aren't they? But you know what I mean. So what's absolutely incredible then is we had 3 badgers, 2 black and white badgers, and 1 of the ginger badgers. And this time, when they finished eating, they all individually had a drink in the reflection pool. And that was just magical to be able to kind of match up that reflection where they meet, the reflection meets the subject is really quite special. One did it and I thought, brilliant, I've got the shot. Then another did it, and then the third did it. So all 3 took it in turns to have a drink in the pool, which was just so special. And I've just got the one left now. I can't imagine there's much food left for them at all. They've been eating for a good solid half an hour, I would say. They're happy as Larry though, whoever Larry is. Well, what an incredible evening I have had in the hide behind me. I hope the footage just does it justice, because it was absolutely wall-to-wall badger. The little area in front of us here at times had 3 badgers in it. There were definitely 4 individuals. Very difficult to be able to tell whether they were the same 4 individuals or whether there was more, because I know, Mike, you've had more than 4 here, haven't you?
Yeah, there's definitely 7 cubs. 3 of them are Erythristic, and I've had all 7 in at once. And then there's the mother as well that'll come in every now and then. So the busiest I've had is 8, which is a bit too much, if I'm honest with you. You can't get them all in.
I would imagine so. I would imagine it can be a little bit overwhelming with that, mate. I mean, 3 can be overwhelming. I was focusing in on one particular badger, and then Jen would be like, you're missing something over the other side. And you're thinking, oh my God, where do I focus? Where do I focus? And it was just...
And I always tell people, like, they'll come in, start feeding, but then it's once they've finished feeding, that's when they start to explore, and when they start climbing. And I purposely drill holes into the logs and channel out so they have to work for it like they would do, you know, properly in nature. And it's lovely to see them getting their claws in and pulling the food out. So yeah, it's really lovely.
It was. I mean, I mentioned on the video last night that they just remind me of Pooh Bear. I don't know why. They just remind me of Pooh Bear at times when they're sat there, particularly when they're using the paws to feed. Oh, there is something very, very magical about them, isn't there?
Yeah, there absolutely is. They've got loads of character as well.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff I've seen, some of their natural behaviour, like they use the bums to push each other out the way. But yeah, and I've had them lying over the top of each other, both just feeding quite happy, but one's literally lying over the top of the other. They'll climb up the logs, and I mean, they're stunning animals, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I must have had easy 4 hours with them last night, easy 4 hours, and if I'd have stayed later, I'd have probably had longer with them. It was me that run out of energy rather than the badgers.
You've been up all day and half the night, so it's understandable.
So yeah, it was absolutely first class. So just to kind of remind people, Mike, if they want to book in here, how do they go about it?
Yeah, they can just message me via social media. So there is a Facebook page, Hide and Squeaks, and an Instagram page at Hide_and_Squeaks, or on my personal, which is at Phelps Photography X. But yeah, just a direct message, and then I'll send all the information through, and then we can sort the dates out.
Wonderful. And little chiff, is that a chiff chaff? Or is it?
Yeah, probably. Oh yeah, look, it's a juvenile one.
Yeah. I would say, it's alive now. There is little birds literally everywhere. Might get sparrowhawks in here. The buzzard has been circling this morning. He sat up in the tree for hours, just watching and watching and watching. The buzzard comes in. I've put some footage up of the tawny owls and the buzzard that Mike gets. It really is a wealth of wildlife in this very small area that Mike has created. You've created something really quite special here, Mike.
Thanks, mate, and that's been my intention the whole time, and as natural as possible. I've done lots of research into how to do things as ethical as I can, and that's what I've tried to do here.
Well, you've achieved it.
Thanks,
you've achieved it with absolute bucketfuls. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you're not yet subscribed, fast approaching that 10,000 mark, please, 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 if you've not yet, about 40% of viewers don't subscribe to the videos, so please click on that subscribe button. Make sure you check out Mike's Instagram page. There'll be a link at the bottom of the screen, and all his other social media, WildX Podcast, just to name just two there. They've got the Apex Adventures. There's lots of various different things that Mike's involved in, really working hard to put out that wildlife photography aspect into the community. His social media is vibrant, is the best way to describe it, so make sure you check that out. So from the stunning, stunning badgers, and from this wonderful wildlife hide, until next time,
Ta-ra!